thank you both for taking time out of your day to do it. So then, at the last meeting, Kayla Wagner from Sprague Insurance was here. And we asked her about Town Barn 2 and people in there, you know, what kind of liability. So she emailed back, below is the information that I received from the loss control regarding the mulch pit. These are not requirements, but something to think about to help mitigate any claims that may come of the use of the mulch pit. We are concerned about this mulch pit being open at all times. For security and liability reasons, we recommend that this area be fenced and locked with signage for specific hours of use. We also recommend that the town install signs stating, "Caution, use at your own risk, not responsible for accidents or injuries." This will reduce potential liability claims.
I mean, there's so many issues with that down there. I mean, you know, all the dumping that's been going on. I know I've got a little dump site on 21. I've had a few little spots where, you know, maybe 5 feet of it's slid down after a lot of rain. That thing's only probably 10 foot down. This thing's probably, what, 40, 50 feet down. And, I mean, that's another liability issue with all the material being dumped down there. And then the other issue is, we had, the 3 chippers, 4 work trucks, and 9 vehicles were parked down there for multiple days. Another liability issue. I mean, it's not a parking lot we're running down there. So those are two issues that I've got concerns with. I mean, I think we should stop all dumping down there together. For these people coming in and dumping stuff, it's just a big liability. What if somebody's backing up there, their brakes go, something happens, we're liable? What if get too close to the edge and there is a landslide? There's so many liability issues with that. I think we should stop the dumping and stop parking down there, and she's kind of confirming that in her email, that it is liability issues. That's just with the mulch pit. So I mean, we could close off the driveway closest to Hornell and put 2 gates at the upper ones, and then that would also, the cameras aren't going to be seen down at that furthest driveway. If you put gates on those first 2, that would eliminate a lot of stuff, and anybody coming in and out would be able to be viewed on the surveillance. That accompanied with signs there, what she recommended. You know, no trespassing, or just, you know, no dumping, no parking.
Jeff, do you have any comments?
The gates, I just don't agree with the gates and all that. You don't want no dumping, fine. Put signs up, say no dumping, no trespassing, no whatever.
How far would you say the distance from the town's property line to where they're dumping is?
I guess I don't know, because I've heard different.
I printed off a GIS map of, I mean, it's not perfect, but it shows the line is down the bank.
Yeah,
So
I've seen one of them, and then you go over here from the same GSI, and the neighbor's barn is 2 foot on us.
I mean, that's not perfect.
No,
2 foot.
You ain't kidding.
But if you look at that, have to be a couple hundred feet to.
Yeah, 'cause we were,
Well, that's been built out
Turn
quite a
it
ways
into
since
different, yeah.
most of the maps I've seen.
well, we were looking at the deeds. I pulled the old deeds and stuff, and we were looking at them, and without getting a survey, which will cost a fortune because, you know,
Right.
the road was changed and all that,
Yeah.
and I haven't gotten a hold of the highway map yet, because I haven't been able to get over there. But just looking at the deeds, it kind of looks like we're right in between those 2 creeks that go down through. There's a, you know, where Hendy's got a little path down through the woods?
Yes.
There's like a creek that down through there,
Uh,
and then it's in the woods. And
Yeah.
then there's one down toward Guthrie's that kind of goes, and they
Yeah.
kind of converge. If you look up over the edge, they kind of converge down by Hendy's barn down in there,
Mhm.
and it kind of looks like, just trying to interpret what was there, it kind of looks like we're right in between those.
Yeah, like I
creeks.
said, I don't,
So I think we're dumping on ourselves, is what I'm saying. I think we're
yeah.
not going on to Hendy. I think.
From what I've been told, we're on Hendy's, but
Well,
that's
even-
here or
even
there,
more
wherever
so.
we're dumping,
Yeah.
we're still dumping. But
But
that's,
we've got the issue too, we were talking about slides,
Yeah.
which I stepped on it, it started going, a little,
Mhm.
I got a little too close to the edge, but we've also got maybe contaminating creek beds. I mean, possibility of it. We don't wanna
Well,
do
at
that.
night, creek beds are, well,
Well, if
It's,
it's raining, it's going down through there, and that
Wow.
goes down into wetlands, and we don't wanna get messing with any of that. And if we've got cement and whatever else is getting dumped over there, I don't think we wanna push that too much more.
So you don't have a problem, Jeff, putting signs up on no dumping, no
put
parking?
signs up. Well, park and park, those guys do a lot of work in this town. And every once in a while, we do get them to kinda extend what they're supposed to do to help us too.
Huh. Well, they've been parking down there for years, many
Yeah.
years, with a lot of, I think probably, you
Over
know,
on Mattoon Road, they weren't supposed to do what they did,
What's that? Where?
over on your road, when they took those trees down. Along the roadway,
Oh, those were the guys who took the trees? You mean up
Yeah.
past about too
so
far?
we could widen the road out.
Mhm.
They were only supposed to go down so far, but we were helping them and they parked down here and so they helped us a little bit more.
Mhm.
Aren't they insured?
Yeah, I would hope so.
Well, yeah.
I don't know.
but it's still liability.
Could we have them
It's
sign
liability
something?
to walk up the steps out here too. I mean, everything's a liability.
Yeah, but I'm talking 9 cars, 4 work wheels, 3 chippers, I've said it before, you know, whether it's hydraulic, oil, gas, diesel, you know, it's just not a matter of if, it's a matter of when we're gonna have an issue down there,
Cement or asphalt.
so.
Could we have them sign something as the company?
Yeah, if they have a spill, that they're responsible for it.
Or any liability too?
Yeah,
How do you prove a spill? They get there in the morning seeing something leaking, they're gonna pull out of there and say, it wasn't us.
That's what we pay for insurance for.
Well, we don't want to use our insurance, that's the whole point.
Oh, I don't know. Are we covered for
I don't
environmental?
know why we'd be liable for that.
yeah, I believe we are.
Huh? We are?
We gotta have some kind of insurance on that, yes.
Well, I'm just going by, you know, like, I know what the county's gone through a few times, and the cost of environmental issues are astronomical, and I really don't want us to get into one of those.
No,
Especially with those creek beds, I'm assuming they go right down to the Hornell Reservoir.
Well, they go that way, they go down into
Yeah.
the wetlands, I'm sure they eventually get
Yeah.
down in there. That's just what we need to do, is contaminate Hornell's water.
I make a motion, we do the signs, no dumping and no trespassing, and no gates.
What do you wanna do about closing up that end driveway where the cameras can't see?
we use the driveway.
That'd be a little inconvenience, but you got 2 other driveways there. It's easy for people to sneak in there and people could still be dumping. Signs may or may not stop them and the cameras won't pick them up that far down there.
I'll second Carol's motion.
Roll call?
Kiefer,
Aye.
Lansberg,
Aye.
Byrne, Smith,
Aye.
Murray.
Aye.
5 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstain.
Anybody have an opinion on closing the lower driveway down there?
How far do those cameras go? I can't remember.
They don't go down that far to
They don't
pick
go
up
that far.
somebody.
They're on the end of the big building, and they go
Mhm.
across the front to pick up, the salt.
There's one in the back.
Yeah, but that doesn't hit that driveway.
That
goes-
driveway's way down there. People
Yeah,
can
I
pull
know
in and
where
do
the
whatever they
driveway
want
is.
and
That
nobody's
just-
gonna know.
When we looked at those, it just picks up like where the edge is. And he said it would probably pick up the bottom of the vehicle way out if somebody was out there.
Couldn't you put big stones in there?
You could, you've got those blocks down there, you could put a berm of sand, dirt, whatever you want, right, Jeff?
Could.
Try this and see how it works.
Are you gonna order the signs, Jeff? Or,
Make up the signs what you want them said, what's, you want said on them, and I'll order them.
Well, she ordered, didn't she have some wordage in her email?
I think we need,
Caution at your own risk. Well. if
we're
you
gonna
don't
need
want-
multiple signs.
Yeah.
We'll get 3 signs, put them at each driveway.
These are gonna say just no dumping.
Now, she did say something about open at all times, should we put something on the sign that, because it really shouldn't be open to anyone,
No.
just to pull in down there.
Why don't you
Put
just say
no
7
trespassing,
7 to
there's
3?
No trespassing.
But what are people supposed to be doing at 7 to 3 down there?
Getting mulch, I don't know,
What's the difference?
you know.
Well, if there's no trespassing.
If you've
there's
got
no
a sign up,
trespassing.
it kind of gives liability to them, not to us.
Okay. How about just no trespassing?
Well, if you want the no dumping too now,
No dumping, no trespassing.
you want us to stop dumping and the county to stop dumping, or just people? Residents?
Residents are dumping down there too?
Yeah, that's where the concrete came from.
Yeah, that's gotta stop for sure.
What
What
about
are
when you're
you-
doing ditching, Jeff? Couldn't you take that up to the pit and put it in a pile so eventually you use it for topsoil?
No.
Why?
Well, you could if it's good, but we got brush and everything else in it.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't be reclaiming that pit for many years and give it plenty of time to rot down. I'm just trying to look at it, that it would at least eliminate some more dumping from down there.
I would think the town could dump there if they want, if
Well,
it's
you guys-
clean.
Well, you just gotta be careful though, cause like we were talking, it's probably a little precarious under there, 'cause it's not been packed and all that, and there's limbs, there's cement, there's probably holes down in there. We don't want you guys going over either, if you're pushing, you know what I mean, you're pushing
Oh.
stuff over, or backing up and dumping.
We don't get back that far.
Well,
But-
what I'm saying is by now, it could be, and if it gets rain.
Well, I just go down below and see where these ditches are for sure and what's going on, and if we're getting close to the ditches, then we'll stop and,
Why don't we table it till next month and give you time to go research it more?
There's a snow fence down across the back. They can't go in.
We'd have to stay, what, 25 feet away from Hendy's property anyway, right? Without a variance?
Yep. To be on the safe side.
Where do you like the snow fence?
The snow fence down through there, they can't dump it. Unless
Across?
they dump in front of the snow fence, then
Oh,
that's a
you mean
different
like
story.
back so far from the edge? Is that what you mean, or are you talking down below?
All the way across the back, where they're dumping over there. And the biggest issue that I see, there's no exact, here's a pin for this corner of the property, here's one for this corner of the property.
right,
Well, we think it's somewhere here or there.
Right.
You can't go on that assumption, because
No.
somebody's either gonna go over it, or they're gonna be shy of it. One way or the other is gonna be an issue. We really need to know where those lines specifically are, if you're gonna do that.
So what are we going with, just no dumping, no trespassing?
Let's try it.
Okay. And then we'll,
And Jeff will get back with us next month?
you get back,
Yep.
and then I like Dean's snow fence idea.
Yep.
well,
Do you have somewhere else you can dump your stuff?
yeah, there's other places we can. If the creeks are far enough away.
I know there's a guy on 21 that has a big site.
You know, I offered it to Lee before.
You don't want brush,
Well, it depends how much brush you're dumping. If it's a lot, I mean,
not below the beach.
you know. I mean, a lot of the stuff the state brings is usually just slop from the ditches, you know. It's got a little bit of brush in it, it's gonna rot down anyway.
Well, this is trees.
Yeah, no, I don't want any trees, that's not considered clean fill. And that's, again, another problem out there on 21, this stuff rots down underground, you have a lot of rain, you got slabs of concrete, it's just, you know, it's like I say, not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, so. Well, why don't we do that then, we'll just wait till, we'll get the signs going.
See, I can get some signs. I think I can get some signs, 'cause they were in business last I checked.
Now, is that place in Canasteo, is that where you're talking, or someplace else?
No, Andover.
Oh, okay.
And then the stickers on the door, you're gonna do that, Joe? The recording in progress stickers?
Yeah.
I think they gave us a bunch of those, right?
Yeah, two guys.
That's nice. Okay, so let's move on to the budget. I need to send out the worksheets that we do every year for everyone. And then she gave us some open dates of when go over to Baldwin's. It'll be myself and, anyone else that would like to go. Jeff, would you like to go too?
Yeah.
It's a good couple hours. Justin has a big spreadsheet and we go line by line by line.
What was the last time?
Hmm?
It was the last time I went over there.
Yeah.
When is it?
Well,
Or you haven't made a date yet?
she put down August 24th, 25th, 26th, and Monday the 31st.
Oh, this month?
August.
Oh,
Oh, August, okay.
I mean, we could even, well, I do need to call and set up an appointment at least.
You wanna wait till next month as you get a little closer?
Well, I need to call and at least set it up because they
Oh.
bill up fast.
Okay.
So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that. And I'll get this out. Then next up is the camera policy. So the security cameras were installed, what, 2 weeks ago, sir? Seems to be working good. And going over it though, we kind of discussed we should have a policy for it. Read through it. The purpose of this policy is to regulate the use of security cameras to protect the legal and privacy interests of the town of Fremont, the community at large, and town employees, while concurrently assisting with the protection of safety in and property of municipal buildings owned by the town. The primary use of security cameras will be to record images for future identification, investigation, and possible prosecution related to illegal and/or criminal activity and actions. General policy. The town of Fremont is committed to establishing and maintaining a workplace that is secure and safe for employees, town officials, and the community at large. To enhance this commitment, the town may install and utilize security cameras. The cameras will be used in a professional, ethical, and legal manner consistent with all existing town policies as well as state and federal laws. Camera use will be limited to situations that do not violate the reasonable exception of privacy as defined by law. Article 3, Policy Guidelines and Procedures. A, security cameras shall only be installed under the authority of the town board of Fremont. B, placement of cameras shall only be considered for the security and safety of employees and customers or for legally mandated reasons. Cameras shall never be placed in areas where privacy would normally be expected. Camera placement must take into consideration any confidential material that it could be visible. C, any building where cameras are located upon or in shall have a statement placed conspicuously at each entrance to the building notifying citizens of the presence of video recording equipment. D, public display of live video from the security cameras is not prohibited. Permitted. E, in the event of a law enforcement investigation or in the event of an active claims investigation for insurance purposes, video recordings may be retained for periods of longer time than time limits specified herein. F, when an incident is suspected to have occurred, the town supervisor / deputy town supervisor shall immediately take steps to ensure that any video recording of the incident is preserved pending investigation. G, when an incident is suspected to have occurred, designated personnel herein may review the images from security camera data. Any suspicion or legal or criminal activities shall immediately be referred to the state troopers or sheriff's department. H, video recordings shall not be copied or removed except in relation to an ongoing investigation. Investigative personnel, town supervisor, and the deputy town supervisor are authorized to copy and remove video recordings from town security cameras. I, video equipment shall not be adjusted, removed, or shut down by any town personnel. J, if service is required, notify town clerk and the company will be contacted to come for service.